Every who down in Who Newville liked the holidays a ton, but where to get great prices on gifts, they had no idea. None. They searched and they searched for great gifts under $25. Gifts for spouses and friends and even their toddlers. When suddenly one who shouted, Walmart has what you want, knowing they have Lego, Tree Hut, and no prices to flaunt. So they enjoy the holiday season as who's often do. Cheering and shouting, Walmart has incredible gifts. Who knew? Find gifts they'll love under $25 at Walmart.
Hello, I'm Diane Morgan. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't, who cares? I'm here to explain Italian Time, a holiday phenomenon where Italians throw away their clocks and gather for eternity with San Pellegrino. I've been at this party so long that I've eaten 5 courses, hugged someone's grandma twice, and been offered a job in the family restaurant. So this holiday season, make sure to bring enough San Pellegrino to last you through the meal, the after meal, and the entire goodbye ritual. San Pellegrino, holiday on Italian Time.
All right. Welcome back.
Misfit Nation show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience need to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, Stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right. Misfit Nation, it's that time again. This isn't just another week. This isn't just another day. This is Tuesday. And they're coming in hotter, louder, and more fired up than ever. Whatever you tried to slow you down these past few days, forget it. Whatever stress tried to drag you down, let it go. Because tonight, this moment is where the energy spikes, the fire explodes, and the misfits take over. They've got momentum, they've got attitude, and they've got that grit and the chaos. And the crew is ready to flip this night upside down. So stand up, get loud, and let's get wild, because here they come, the 2 engines that power this whole damn train. Stephen, Jake, Cagney, Lacey, the ToosDay Crüe.
Good evening, Steve. Show. I love it.
He's a wild man. Our producer is a wild man.
Yes, he is. How's everything with you?
Everything is good. I'm fine. I think I'm finally starting to warm up a little bit. It was a bit chilly here today. Then as it started to warm up, it started to get a bit breezy. And but got home from work, got my hay all unloaded and stuck in the barn, got to roll out to the horses, got the chickens fed and got the eggs collected. And now I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I woke up this morning. It was a nice 17 degrees out. And right now it's only 32. So,
All right. Are you feeling better?
yeah, I'm good. I just take pills and move on,
Okay.
Little night cold or day cold and just blow through it because otherwise.
Let me tell you what, and I'm going to throw out a free advertisement here. Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold. That stuff is magic. That stuff is magic. Stephen, we got
you can't take days off, so.
Exactly. I know. Well, I can usually call my boss, and if we don't have anything going, I can usually slide by. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Hey, we got an exciting show tonight, Stephen, and I'm real excited to have it because tonight the ToosDay Crüe is honored to welcome Laura Lindsey, and she is the development director for Heroes on the Water. And that's an organization that has been transforming the lives of veterans, first responders, and their families since about 2007. And at Heroes on the Water, they use simple yet powerful experience of kayak fishing. We've heard this before to promote healing, reduce stress, and rebuild community. Laura is a master storyteller and nonprofit leader who turns generosity into impact. And she helps the world understand what our heroes face after service and how nature, connection, and a shared purpose can restore peace and belonging. So, Misfit Nation, ToosDay Crüe, please join us in welcoming the incredible Laura Lindsey.
Good evening, Laura.
Hi.
Good evening, Laura.
How are you?
We're good. You?
We are good. We are good.
I am great. Y'all make me sound really good and smart.
Well, hey, I kind of poked around the website a little bit, and we're going to talk about this later on in the show. But you're doing great things.
Well, it's not me personally, but yeah, we have a good team, and we're very proud of what we've accomplished so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's and after you tell us a little bit about yourself, I just basically gave about 5 cents of your bio and what you do. If you want to fill in the other 95 cents and just start whenever you want to, how you got into this and why you're doing it, and tell us all about it.
Yeah, you got it. So I'm a civilian, and I did not come from a family of veterans and first responders. So for me, this was it was quite the eye-opening experience. I have been with this organization in various forms for about the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. And so I started out writing all their blog posts. And in the beginning, it was a little difficult to get people to tell their stories because it's their story and some of them are really, really tough to hear. And it's hard to tell, right? You guys get it.
Oh, yeah.
And not understanding the difficulty of transition and how difficult it was for you to apply some of your military skill sets to the civilian world when you tried to look for a job, and just all of the things, right? Like I just learned those over the years. And so writing those stories, and I always felt really, really humbled that people were willing to share their stories. And there's some great ones on the website. You can go read them. And I'm just kind of rolling along writing the stories. And to be honest, there was one in particular that it changed me. And it was a young man named Brandon, and he was the coordinator for our BAMC program. That's actually where we got our start. We could talk more about this later, but we actually started at Brooke Army Medical Center. That was our first chapter, if you will, way back in the day. And I, again, not understanding all of this, he's talking to me and he keeps apologizing because he has a traumatic brain injury. And I'm like, it's fine. You're fine. You're great. You're doing great. Just say what you want to say. You'll get to read the piece. You can take out what you don't want in there. Just, be yourself. It'll be okay. And he starts telling me his story and his recall of the moment that changed his military career is so precise, to the point that he is telling me where he was facing and which way the wind was blowing and the smells that were going on around him, which I find out later is all part of how trauma works. And that he and his comrade, they were, you know, ready, they were closing down for the night. And it turns out that the man who shot him and several of his soldiers was someone that they thought was a friendly. So he was actually inside the compound.
Oh, okay.
Right? And so he tells me all about, you know, how he has to be flown from there, the pain that he was in, the screaming, like all of it. Like, it is such level of detail, you guys, that I'm overwhelmed, and I'm trying to capture this story and not become too overwhelmed, because I want to do it justice. And then he talks about, you know, getting to BAMC and everything that happened, and how being on the kayak was one of the first times he could do something on his own after his injuries, which we hear a lot. And it made him feel confident and like he could really move forward from there, because now he's basically manning his own ship, even though we realize it's a, you know, kayak, it's a plastic boat. But and just how grateful that he was, and that's why he was working with us at that time. And I finished up the notes and I finished up the interview, and I walked into my living room and I sat down in my chair, and my first thought was, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of that level of sacrifice from anybody for anything. And these are people that go out and put themselves in harm's way every day so that someone like me can be safe. And it changed my life. And so that was 8 years ago, and here I am to this day. It's like, look, I firmly believe that we live in an amazing country, and yes, we go through all sorts of craziness on a regular basis because we're people, and that's how it works. But having people that are willing to run towards danger instead of away from it to keep our borders safe and keep our community safe, like our first responders, is a gift. And you can't look that gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah. And I want to add something to you. Okay. You told yourself that you're not worthy. And I'm going to correct you a little bit on that, because
that's fair.
My feeling as a veteran, every person I served, whether I agree politically, whether whatever, every person in this that was a citizen of this country, when I served for them. And every citizen of this country is worthy of that sacrifice. And that's why we do it.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. And I love that and respect it, and so grateful for it. For me at that moment, it was an eye-opening transition that I'm like, okay, I have to, so, you know, pull myself up by my bootstraps. I'm like, well, okay, you're in this. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right? How can you help? And here I am all this time later, after working on blogs and then becoming a communications manager, and then, doing one thing after another, and coming on full-time in 2020, which may or may not have been really bad timing. I'm not sure yet. And now here I am as the development director. And the days that it's really hard to do your job and get up out of bed and you're like, oh, I'm so tired, and, this isn't working and that isn't working, and whatever it is, having a mission, which is not the way it's worked in my corporate career, having a mission to focus on makes all the difference. Yes, it does. And, just having that purpose and having that drive to get out there. And, you was talking about your mission and what you do. I'm going to tell the listeners here, okay, we're going to talk a little bit about Heroes on the Water. And I'm sure it's much more now. This was as of May 2025. Over 68,000 veterans and first responders served. Over 16,000 family members served.
over 4,500 total days on the water. Okay, that's more than a lot of sailors have. And over 51,000, and this is what gets me. This organization has over 51,000 volunteers, and I pulled up your chapter map, and I was like, wow, you have chapters everywhere. There's only a few states I see that do not have a chapter, and if they don't have a chapter, they have one close in another state. I think Arkansas has, Texas has got a bunch of them, but like Arkansas has 3. Louisiana has a couple chapters, and I think it just shows we got a new chapter here in Shepherdsville, Kentucky.
Yes, you do.
So I'm gonna have to pick out whether I go to Shepherdsville or if I go to Nashville.
Yeah, well, either one. That is one of the things about our volunteer chapters. They all have, we set them up so that they have everything that they need, but we want to give them the freedom to work within their community. So Shepherdsville, to your point, is very new. The guy that's running that has been around the organization for a while, so we're very excited for him. The Nashville Music City chapter is started by a first responder. So there's a lot of first responders in that chapter. So they have a different feel than maybe some of the chapters that are all veterans.
Yeah. And I'm sure it does. I mean, it's kind of like two sides of the same coin. It is a little bit different. There's a friend of mine I went to high school with. He's a first responder. He's a fireman. And we talk all the time, and he says, man, you was going to places and getting shot at and doing this. And I'm like, dude, you're the crazy one. You're the one running into burning buildings.
Into burning buildings, help people out of car accidents. Yeah, that's
yeah. Now, I'm definitely going to have to check out one of those chapters, maybe both of them, because we interviewed a guy a few weeks back, and I told him that I was going to try kayak fishing once it got warmer because I'm afraid that I would fall out of the kayak. His name is Gene Campbell.
Yeah, I know Gene.
And I figured after I was reading through and I saw that he is part of the organization as well. I figured that y'all knew one another, and and we did an interview. Great guy. And if he is an example, if you and he are an example of some of the volunteers that you have in this organization, I will honestly say right now, folks listening, this is a top-notch organization.
Thank you.
Yes.
We think so. Gene's great. He actually is the program coordinator for our Denver VA program. And on the website, because it's worth the read, his recreational therapist at the Denver VA and him put together a kayak fishing event in, I want to say August, maybe early September, where they took visually impaired veterans out on kayaks.
Yeah, that's the story I read, and that was wow.
It's so cool. I mean, we do buddy them up. We're not just sticking visually impaired people out in the middle of the water and telling them, go for it. Like it was all very safe. Safety is very important to us. So there's a lot of requirements and ways that we make sure that everybody can be safe on the water. So even if you came out, Jake, and fell in, there'd be somebody right there to help you get right back in, so you'd be okay.
Okay, because I tell you what, I swim like a homesick rock.
Oh, then I want to be there so I can point and giggle.
There you go, right? Exactly. We'll take pictures and point and laugh, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Post it on the next episode.
Hey, you know what? The producer can put it on Cart Talk. I don't care. I do not care.
This is Jake fishing. This is Jake sinking.
No.
Nah, we're going to make you wear a PFD, Jake. You're not going to sink.
This is Jake fishing underwater. Oh, yeah, because my balance is not so good. Folks I work with what's up, Willis? My balance is not too good. The people that I work with will tell you that, that's not something that I didn't have much balance to begin with, and then after a few things going on, I'm really unbalanced. So I don't know how kayaking's going to go.
I guess you're about to find out. The
I might have,
upside.
well, I'm going to get one, and I think I'm going to paddle around my pond a little bit, and then I've
Good
got.
plan.
I live in an area called Land Between the Lakes in Kentucky, and I'll go down there if I want to hit some open water and go down there and try it out. Get some practice.
It's a lot more stable. The kayaks that we use are fishing kayaks, so they're sit on top and they're very sturdy. I can stand up in one and rock back and forth like this and not tip it over. So it's not, when I tell people what we do, the first thing they conjure up is a sit-in kayak, like you whitewater, and that's not what this is. So yeah, exactly. Speak of the devil. There's G.
Gene joining us tonight. Hello, Gene. Okay, so take us through. Gene took us kind of through what they do with his True Patriot Outfitters. Why don't you take us through what they do at some of the different chapters and how they're getting out there and reaching folks?
Sure. So each chapter has 4 leadership team members, the volunteer chapters. And if you look on the map, those are the blue dots, which is where you see so many of them. And we have them, they get out in the community, they meet people, they go to the different local organizations to find veterans and first responders who want to come out. A lot of times it's the spouse or the caretaker that ends up bringing them. And they'll put together an event typically on a Saturday. So you go out early in the morning, have some coffee, maybe they bring donuts, whatever they want to do, you sit through a safety briefing. We provide you with the kayak, the PFD, the paddle, the rod, the reel, and the bait for whatever the fishing is. And we have saltwater and freshwater chapters. Ooh. So yeah, so they'll tell you which fish are biting. Like, they're all really good at it. We have people that are guides typically that also volunteer, that go out on the water with you. So like I said, safety is really important to us. And so we want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable and confident. If you've never done it, we buddy you up. If you've done it a few times, that's cool. You can go out and do your thing, but we ask you to kind of stay within a certain area. Like, we really want to make sure everybody can do this safely and have a good time and relax, right? I mean, that's really what it's about. And we like the paddles. We do have some that have pedal. There are pedal kayaks. So those are for people that have physical limitations that don't let them paddle the kayak. Okay. But otherwise, we prefer that you paddle because it, as y'all know, you keep a lot of tension up here in your shoulders and your neck and whatever. And paddling, if you do it correctly, really helps alleviate that tension. And it also really helps strengthen your core muscles. So yes, positive for the ladies out there. Yeah. And they go out for a few hours. You can come back. You will break bread together, have a lunch, sit underneath a pop-up tent and just talk. And all the camaraderie piece of it, honestly, is one of the most powerful pieces about what we have at Heroes on the Water. So the kayak fishing is great. It helps release tension. The stories that they've gifted us with, they tell us that it, alleviates post-traumatic stress symptoms. So that sort of buzzing noise in your head, that goes away when you're on the water because it helps relax you. Trying to catch a fish gives you sort of a new mission, a new focus, right? So it takes your mind off of what's going on. We have tandem kayaks. So if you have a kiddo that you want to bring back, sometimes that's one of the best ways to reconnect with your family.
I was going to ask about the tandem kayaks. Let's say, you have a veteran or a first responder that doesn't have mobility in their arms and legs. Just to get them out on the water or whatever. And I know it's probably a safety issue, but can that be done?
It depends on the person and the situation. So the short answer is yes, but again, from a safety perspective, we've got to make sure that they're secure and that everything is cool. And so, yeah, they can use tandem kayaks for some of that. Most of the time in the volunteer chapter, because you'll see more of that on the therapeutic side.
Okay.
Most of the time in the volunteer chapter, what we see is parents and children in the tandem kayaks. And
Okay.
yeah, so like it's one of my favorite stories. A man was there. He was separated from his wife. They were going through a tough time, and he was really grateful to be there and told the chapter coordinator that it was the first time he and his son had connected, and he was able to get his kid off his phone, right? And
Nice.
do something with him together. And then the other thing about it is, if that is not your thing and you just want to come out and be with the community that's involved in this, we're not going to make you go out on a kayak. You can fish from the bank. You can sit in a chair on the bank with somebody else and just chat. Like, we're not going to make people do things they don't want to do, but we will encourage you, because it really is therapeutic. And there is on the website something called Operation Early Impact, which is our study. This is our 3rd year, and you can go and look at it and see that our participants in this is an honest to goodness, true peer-reviewed study. So the tool that we use was created by a recreational therapist. So it's not a survey. It's an actual, honest to goodness that went through the whole process to be an official study. And for example, 95% of the participants said that it helped them alleviate their stress.
Good deal.
And
Well,
over 90% said that it helped them with their relationship. So there's actually a residual part to it. Like, once you go to that event, you feel that calming effect for a few days after.
good deal. Because I mean, relieving stress, no matter what it is, that, because everybody's different, but that you relieve that stress, it is going to make your reactions with other people better. You're going to feel better about yourself. And it's definitely a help. And, doing something like that, being out in nature, I can tell you right now, it relieves stress. And there's some days I just go outside, I sit down on a 5-gallon bucket, and I watch my chickens. And
there you go.
that relieves stress. I don't know how
counts.
it does it, but it
all
does.
counts. Exactly. Yeah. So one of the other things that differentiates us from some of the other organizations is our events are recurring. So during season, which we'll call April to October, just generally, there's, geography kind of depends on when you can do things. If you want to come in April and in May and in June, like, you are welcome to do that. So it's not a one single event.
Okay.
Right? You can go, it's month over month. You can come back, and then you can come back the next season and come every single time. We see a lot of people that come several times, and they fall so in love with it that not only do they want to volunteer and help, but they go buy their own kayak.
Nice.
And you can bring your own equipment. I mean, we don't, you're certainly welcome to use ours, because that's a great way to get started. But if you really love it, you're certainly welcome to bring your own and come with us.
Okay. All right. Well, that's amazing.
Now, I have a question. Me being a civilian like you, never. If I was find a chapter in New Jersey, would I be able to go hang out and give time helping out, or just?
Oh, yes, please.
Checking out
We
the place.
love our volunteers. Our volunteers are amazing. We could not do what we are doing without them. And there's a bunch of ways to volunteer. You can go and help unload and reload all that equipment. I mean, it doesn't unload itself, right? They're really cool kayaks, but they're not that sophisticated. You can help set up the pop-up tents in the table, help check people in, and help set up for food, help, go out in the community and spread the word around, go to different, maybe you go to a fishing show and have a table there and help work the table. Or maybe your gift is photographs and you want to go take photographs and help us post them on social media. There is a lot of different things that people can do to help support that mission. And we are always looking for volunteers that want to come and do that. And I'll be honest with you, because I've done it plenty, and it's just as relaxing for us, Stephen, as it is for, well, maybe not as it is for all of the people that are participating, but it's close.
Just remember, if he does that, keep Stephen behind the camera, not in front of it.
Yeah, I don't want to scare people.
All right. Hey, we are going to take a little
And
pause.
it's a good thing it's fishing and not hunting, so that makes it
yes.
Oh.
We're going to take a little pause here, just for a minute or two. We're gonna stay on live, but and I'm going to make a public service announcement here. All right, ToosDay Crüe, Misfit Nation. It's time for my weekly public service announcement. First of all, we love you. And tomorrow will not be as beautiful if you're not here in it. So if you're feeling the darkness, if you feel like it, you do not want to be here tomorrow, get on that phone, dial 988. If you're a veteran, take option 1. Somebody on the other end of that line will pick up. They will get you the help that you need and get you to a better place. I used to not know what to think about it. I didn't know if it worked. I didn't know what it did until somebody very, very close to me had to pick up that phone, had to make that call, and they are still alive today because of that call. So I wholeheartedly believe in it. Accept the help that they're giving you. If you don't want to call them, reach out. Reach out to info@themisfitnation.com, Stephen@themisfitnation.com, or Jake@themisfitnation.com. Put your phone number in there. We'll call you. We will call you. And here's how it's going to go. One of us will be on the phone talking to you, making sure you're okay, making sure that you're going to stay around. And while we're texting, another one of us and going to get you the help you need where you're at that time. So please, as I said, tomorrow will not be as beautiful a day without you in it. So that's my public service.
Reach out. We're there.
Reach out.
And real quick before we start, I just want to get this up there. Come get some. I was sick last week for a couple of days. I'm good. Everything's all right. Just want to make sure I answered your question. It was just quick flu, got over it quick, and we moved on. Thanks. Like I said, we get weird questions and people pop in and they want to know everything. So I'm not saying that was weird.
All right. So we're out there on a kayak fishing trip, paddling along, doing our thing. We get to our little fishing hole, cast out, and start catching fish.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we break at noon, do we get to eat them fish, or are these catch and release?
It depends on the chapter. So we,
okay.
And it also depends on the regulations of the state and what's going on and what you caught. And you guys, I know more about fishing now than I ever wanted to in my entire life. I love to fish. Don't get me wrong. It's great, but I am a freshwater girl because I grew up in the panhandle of Texas. We didn't have a lot of oceans, right? So I have learned a ton about, because I live in Texas, so Texas Parks and Wildlife, and they have very specific rules and regs and all that stuff. And it is up to each chapter and the people that are fishing to help everyone understand exactly what you can and cannot do and then move forward. So, for example, another thing that happens is some states have free fishing license for veterans.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes life easy, right? Some states let us go get like a whole group license for a group event, and other states are like, no, everybody has to have their own. So, yeah, it depends. Like the chapter will tell you, we're only going to do catch and release, or if you want to keep it, bring a cooler, or we're probably not going to gut it and cook it. Like, okay, we're not going to do that right there. You just that's not happening. So,
okay.
No, there's not going to be that whole fish cleaning, because we have plenty to do without doing all of that, but you can probably take them home depending on the event. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And just to add to that, there's a big push right now for states to go to constitutional fishing.
Okay.
it's constitutional hunting and fishing, so they're not going to have licenses, and they'll still have seasons for the animals and stuff like that, and bag limits and such, but there won't have, there's no need for a license. So there's a big push for that.
Make life easier for everyone, but yeah.
Yes, it would.
Until that happens.
Hey, you got to do what the government wants you to do.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, Laura, we have a couple questions out there for you right now.
Sure.
At Emmett.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Laura, what's one transformation story from Heroes on the Water that personally moved you the most?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a great question. So I told my Brandon story a little earlier. That was the one that really moved me because of the way that Brandon was telling me his story, and because of the whole entire thing about it was overwhelming to me. And so I learned very quickly to not make assumptions, right? And learned very quickly that I really knew nothing about how the military worked. The other one, and you can see his video you can go to our webpage and find it, or you can go to our YouTube channel and find it, is my good buddy, Jason Austin. And he actually came in and let us video and told his story. And his story was he was blown up, and his convoy hit a couple of roadside bombs, and I can't remember how many times he coded on the way to Germany, but it was several. And he gets home, and in his words, his mind was broken, his body was broken, he didn't know what to do. He goes through everything and goes through rehab, and he is sitting there one day, and he's about to take that final step. And he even bought a shotgun for that purpose. And the phone rings. And it's somebody that says, "Hey, I hear you could use some help, and I could use some help. And how about we go fishing?" And that was his introduction to Heroes on the Water. And
Nice.
He credits Heroes on the Water with saving his life. And he works for us now full time as a volunteer program coordinator. He's one of the people that makes sure all those volunteer all those blue dots have everything that they need in order to fulfill the mission. And he is an amazing person. And I can't imagine doing what we do here without him being a part of it, and listening to him tell that story and talk about how devastated he was and how depressed he was and how he just couldn't see a way, only for something as simple as somebody taking him out on a little plastic boat and going fishing to completely turn him around, is still amazing and overwhelming to me.
You're at those lowest points, and just a random act of kindness, or it just, people do not understand what that can do for another human being.
It makes a big difference. In fact, many, I'm not going to say all, because again, the volunteer, we really want them to do what makes the most sense for the volunteer base. And also for the community, but many of them will do one-on-one events. So to your point, I was listening to you, Jake, and what you were saying, and it's so true. Like, we want you to be here. The world would not be a better place without these people here. And you can pick up the phone and call one of the chapter volunteers and say, I really could use an outing, and they will take you individually on a kayak, just to get you that reset, that peace, that that moment that you're looking for to help you move forward.
All right.
And I'm thinking what you just went through answer the next question, because to me that's what it sounds like, but we're gonna bring it up anyway. I Love Cowboys wants to know, how does kayak fishing specifically promote cognitive and emotional healing for veterans and first responders? I think you touched on a lot of that, but take it as far as you like.
That is a very, wow, okay. So Operation Early Impact is our study. We talked about this a little bit, and on the website you will see exactly what questions we asked, exactly how it's formed so that we can study that exact impact, because we didn't know what we had in the beginning, right? We just knew that we would take people kayak fishing and they would show up with one attitude, with, like that just the weight of the world on their shoulders, or you could just feel it, right? And they would come back off the water and they would be different. And we're like, we don't know what this is. So we partnered with Texas State University and had them create that peer-reviewed study tool for us. And then we go and we ask questions after every event, and they fill it out. And what we've learned is, like I was saying, it has a residual effect. So you can come to an event on Saturday, and by Friday of the next week, you're still feeling the residual effect of being in the outdoors, being on the water, being in that immersive experience of being in a kayak. There are people that actually go out on a kayak and nap because it's the quietest time that they get all week long.
Well,
And so they
it
are
gets you out of
able
your
to,
head with something different. That's
yeah,
you know,
they're able to more than 90% of them said that it helped them improve self-efficacy. So these are, again, stories that you can also see on the website. One guy was telling us that he was really struggling at work and got fired for having a huge argument. And then he was arguing with his wife, and he was doing all of these things, lashing out. And he started kayak fishing, and it actually helped him resolve all of those issues. And he was able to have a much better relationship with his wife. And it is because of the ability to be immersed in nature, have the ability to do your own thing on the kayak. Like I was saying, for some of them, it's the first time they've ever actually done anything since their injury on their own. Also being able to focus your brain differently, because you're trying to catch a fish, you're trying to paddle the kayak, you're trying to do all of these different things. And then at the end of it, it's the camaraderie. It is, let's go out on this water, and if you want to talk about it, fine. And if you don't, fine, but let's leave it on the water and come back in and be surrounded by the brotherhood, sisterhood that you've been missing since you got out of the military. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that totally answers your question, but I would encourage you to go look. It's on the website, and it's under Operation Early Impact, and you can see all the details of that study, because I don't want to misspeak about it. And it will tell you everything that you need to know. And we will be publishing this year's results in the first quarter of next year, and I expect them to be every bit as good, if not better.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up right here, and just by the numbers that's on the top of it, 95% reported an increase in their stress management skills. 90 reported a increase in self-efficacy. 91 reported positive impacts on personal relationship. And right there, that tells me that this is a success. And like you say, it's a natural path to recovery. There's no pills, there's no, none of that. And it's getting out into nature. And I am sure that there are people that have met on these trips that are now probably inseparable. And I'm not going to say it happens all the time, but I'm sure of that. And you talk about the fishing part of it. I heard a story about a guy that kicked heroin by fishing. He just quit using heroin and started fishing. Now he fishes a lot now, but he don't shoot heroin. So, there's something about, catching a fish, because I can tell you, not everybody can do it. I am not a good fisherman. I can have the same lure, be fishing in the same spot as my son-in-law, and he'll get a fish every second cast, and I'll stand out there all day and not catch a fish. So, I don't know what it is, but that's just
Are you
that.
sure you weren't just buffering and the fish were there? And you just
Okay, hey, you know how I'm not going to get into this. So
sorry.
I might have been buffering, Stephen. I don't know.
All right, I have another question for you.
Okay.
You are who you are. Okay. What are the biggest misconceptions civilians have about the struggles our heroes face after service? Thank you for that question.
How much time do we have? Okay. I'm going to tell you what I personally learned and then shared with my own circle. I don't want to speak for every, civilian on the planet. First off, we operate under the assumption that you're absolutely thrilled to be home and that's all that matters. That there's not some sort of struggle to transition into an office job, for example. Because we don't understand the fact that you go from being ramped up to 11 to somebody slamming on the brakes, right? So let's say you maybe you didn't retire or get out when you wanted to. Maybe you were forced out due to an injury, right? For example. So that is a very different scenario. And so as a civilian, we're like, well, hey, you're back here and you have running water and you can go to an air-conditioned office. And so why shouldn't that be a thing? Well, it doesn't work that way because you haven't had time to reset all of your training and your brain, and everything that you trained for, right, has now just been snapped away. And so that's something that is really difficult for somebody who's never served to understand. One of the other ones is, try not to laugh, is that we honestly think that as a veteran, you get all of your health care taken care of 100% by the VA. Like there's not an understand that, yeah, exactly. They just were saying it's like slamming into a wall. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to me. I say they, I feel like I straddle now. I've been doing this long enough, right? But we don't understand that it's not like corporate health insurance, right? You don't get a PPO. It's like, you know what I mean? And it's like, what do you mean they have to qualify to be 100% disabled? What do you mean that there's percentages that, like, all of those nuances that go on that I know for you guys are like, that's exactly the world we live in all the time. Most civilians we don't get it. And that's just at the top of the level. I mean, there's a lot of other things, how the training works, some of the intense training for some of those, spec ops groups and things that go on that I've learned about recently. I'm like, oh. I think if the general public knew that, we'd be super freaked out. So, yeah, there's just a lot. And I honestly think that there's a lot of people that don't understand. If you didn't come from a military family, if you don't have that generational piece of it, I don't think they understand why somebody joins the military, right? Like, it's really hard to get your head around what would cause somebody to want to do that. And I think 9/11 changed that for a lot of people. But before that, I think it was kind of a foreign concept.
Yeah, it was. Class I graduated in high school, 2 of us joined the military. And my reason changed after I got in. I mean, I joined for the college money because, mom and dad couldn't afford to send me to college. But, 25 years later, I was still in. So, yeah, there's a lot of different reasons that people join.
Yeah, and to your point, Jake, so that is one of the other ones that I'll mention, and then we can move on, is the thought it's that brotherhood, sisterhood piece, that brotherhood piece, having to rely on somebody to save your life, to have your back, that you absolutely cannot stand is not something that translates in the civilian world. If I absolutely cannot stand somebody, I just try to avoid them, right? I don't have to rely on them to save my life.
Oh yeah, but it happens. There's people, you're back in garrison or whatever, you can't stand one another. But as soon as you're side by side and the bullets start flying, you will do anything possible to save that other person's life. Yes, I can say that with no reservation. I'm not going to say any names, but
That's probably a good plan.
I think, Stephen, we got time for one more.
Okay, I'll pull it up. At Penelope 3 wants to know, how can someone with no outdoor experience begin participating or volunteering with Heroes on the Water?
That is super easy. So first off, you don't need any outdoor experience. We understand that that's not where everybody has been. On the website, there is a map where it just says find a chapter, and you go find the dot that's closest to you. You click on it and it'll bring up the information, bring up the email and the web page for that particular chapter. And you just email them and say, hey, I'm interested in volunteering. I'm interested in helping out. Connect me, and they will. Now, it is off season right now. So, and a lot of times the volunteers, they go and spend time with family this time of year. So I would say March, April timeframe is a good time to reach out and ask that question, because it's much more likely that you will get an answer. And you can certainly find me on the website and on LinkedIn and social media everywhere else. You're welcome to reach out to me directly and ask, and I will do my very best to connect you with the chapter closest to you.
Awesome. That is. So, okay, now that's going to tie right into, if somebody wants to contact you, Laura, how do they contact you?
So, like I said, you can go to the website, and I am on the website. My LinkedIn profile is there. You're welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. My email address is my name, which is laura.lindsey@heroesonthewater.org. Please drop me a line if that's what you'd like to do. And there's also a contact form. So you can fill out the form and say, I want to talk to Laura, and it'll get to me. Yeah. And then if there's any other questions you have, how to, support the organization other ways, we have all sorts of opportunities to support us through partnerships, obviously through donations, because we're a nonprofit. So, that's how we survive. Any of those sorts of things, you're welcome to reach out to me. And the website has all that information on there. We try to make it super easy for people to find what you need.
Yes, I was going to go through that, for folks out there who may not want to volunteer or whatever. You can, down at the bottom, there is a way that you can help, and they have a donation page down there that you can donate to Heroes on the Water. And like Laura said, I am sure that donation will be greatly appreciated.
Yes. And any amount at all, it all makes a huge difference.
Now, what if someone were to go out and buy 50 fishing poles with reels on it? Who do they send that to?
That actually goes, you can go again to the website, and go to the contact form and just tell somebody that you want to make an in-kind donation. Okay. And that'll go directly to our volunteer chapter.
Okay.
And I would suggest reaching out to Camille Null, is the volunteer program director.
Okay.
And she could certainly help people figure out the best way to make that happen. We've got a lot of wonderful manufacturers and manufacturers representatives that support us, that help us get that equipment.
That is outstanding.
Yeah, at a very discounted rate, because we really want to make sure we're good stewards of our donors' money. And the best way we can do that is to find the best deal with the best equipment that we can get to make sure that we're still adhering to our safety standards. So,
All right.
All right, Jake, do we have time for one more question? Because this question that's up there is just piqued my interest.
Okay, go ahead. Hit it.
Okay. Ed Sebastian Bach wants to know, from your perspective, what is the single most important thing, impactful thing communities can do to support veterans and first responders year round?
well, I'm going to tell you, I think the most single impactful thing that you can do is align yourself with an organization that supports that community, because they've already got the marketing machine, the outreach machine, and everything else that you can do. Outside of that, there are a number of nonprofits that work year round. I mean, we do some, but there are some that work year round to support veterans and first responders. For example, one of our major partners is a group called Combined Arms. And what they do is they put together an entire list or segment of nonprofits. And when you call Combined Arms and you say, I need this or I need that, they will send you to the nonprofit. They're like a clearinghouse, right?
Okay.
They will send you to the nonprofit that can help you for veterans. First responders, it's a bit interesting because they're so community focused, right? So you've got local, regional, state,
Well,
sheriff's
that
office, the DPS.
that was the one thing that came in my mind, because we have like nights out here in Bloomfield in New Jersey, and then you have like coffee with a cop, and you can have activities like that, but are veterans going to show up to something like that? If I pick a spot and say,
They
hey,
will. There's a lot of veterans that go into law enforcement because it's a more natural alignment for them when they leave the military, for their skill set, quite honestly. So we have a lot of those. And that is, because that's one of the reasons that we do serve both communities. And we do have first responder centric chapters, like the one in Music City, Nashville, and one in Chicago, and one up in Western Connecticut. So, so I would say for veterans, it's a lot easier because it's been more organized for them for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
And for first responders, I would honestly just start in your backyard. Like, I would just go and find which group is supporting that, or go talk to, a lot of them have wellness officers now, which just we end up working with. And you can get in touch with the wellness officer and say, hey, I really want to support your community, support this, support you guys. Where do I go? What do I do? And they will be more than happy to help you.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Laura, this hour has flown by.
It has. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much.
We have too. After interviewing both you and Gene, I probably know more about kayak fishing without ever being in a kayak and fishing than I. So when I finally do show up, I should be armed with everything that I need.
You should be ready to go. Exactly.
Yes. And I'm also going to check with the Jersey chapter to see if they're going to go on the Hudson River, because Gene said he wouldn't fish on the Hudson River. So, let alone kayak fish on the Hudson River. I'm going to check with the Jersey branch and see what they say.
I tell you what, I think I would rather fish the Hudson River than I would the Illinois River. So, but before we go, Laura, we ask our guests 3 questions.
Okay.
And actually, it's one 3-part question.
Okay.
And so,
I'm ready.
Yeah, we ask, what are 3 non-negotiables that Laura has to do every day for her day to be complete?
Okay.
What are you thinking about that? That was Jake Buffering. He just stopped for a second, then he finished the question.
So, and these can be my personal things, right? Like,
yes. Yes.
All right. So,
totally
I'm a weirdo. I'm that person. I have to make my bed.
Okay.
Immediately. I need to work out which can be walking my dog or going to lift weights or whatever, but I got to work out.
Okay.
And I need to have a solid hour to 2 hours of just straight quiet time.
Okay. All right. So make your bed. If I did not make my bed, my grandmother would probably rise up out of her grave and get me. So yeah, I'm definitely with you on that. And the hour to 2 hours, and working out, staying moving, and then the hour to 2 hours of quiet time, personal reflection, whatever you want to call it, is definitely, that is very healing for the mind.
Yeah.
And
It's
folks,
pretty, it's better for everybody else too.
and folks that are listening, I will remind you again, the website is heroesonthewater.org. Get on there, find you a local chapter. If you're not a veteran, you're not a first responder, and you still want to be a part of the organization, click on there, become a volunteer, donate money, donate your time. I know that without even talking to anybody, I know that the organization would appreciate it. And I definitely know that the veterans and first responders will appreciate it.
Definitely.
Stephen, parting thoughts?
No parting thoughts at all. I just think this was a great chat. I learned a lot tonight.
Yes, it was.
I want to reach out to them and see about, stopping by and checking it out.
We got a surprise for you coming up on Thursday. The ToosDay Crüe is going to be hosting Thursday as well. So you get to see us again this week, you lucky folks.
Thursday, ToosDay Crüe. Laura, thank you.
Nice to meet you guys. I really appreciate it.
Laura, thank you for being here. And Misfit Nation, ToosDay Crüe,
good night.
We love you.
Take care now.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.